dark were the skies, and chill was the wind, as the land was covered in a veil of malice. Across the hill did ride a dread army of the night, cloaked in mist and fog, prepared to rain down death and destruction upon the land. And the people did crowd for a savior, a noble soul to save them from their impending demise. Just as it seemed all was lost, in strode a mighty hero, clad in shimmering metal from head to toe. Wielding a terrible broadsword, he did cleave his foes in two, smashing their ranks asunder with righteous fury. And when the day was done and the enemy strewn across the fields in pieces, the people did turn to the warrior and say, "We shall name this day in your honor. Speak unto us your wisdom." The warrior said one word that day: epic.
One man, one Murloc, one giant angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now. Yes, indeed, folks. Welcome to Blue Please, here on CynicalBrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. The date is the 2nd of April, 2010. Am I still singing? I suppose. Yes. Can't imagine why. What have I got coming for you in the show today, folks? Things, stuff, places, all sorts of things. Honestly, not all that much, I must attest. Nothing's really been going on this week in terms of WoW or anything like that, so, well, what is there to talk about? Not much. I'll come up with a few things, so I suppose I can do some kind of show. Might be a little bit shorter than usual. It's just the way of it. Sorry. Also got Shoutcraft coming up later in the evening, so hey, a lot of work to be done for that. What have I got coming for the show today, folks? Well, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about extending your lockout. All you need to do is take these 2 pills and you can extend your lockout by a grand total of 7 days. Yes, indeed. 7 days. Just take these pills, very, very cheap. Get them over the internet. Little blue pills and you can extend your lockout. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on the show. Also, the concept of the world first and the concept of doing the world first with the 5% buff. Now, I'm not going to blame Paragon for this, because of course they used what was available to them at the time, and that's perfectly fine, but will someone explain to me why exactly it's okay to have the 5% buff in hard modes? We'll figure that one out a little bit later on in the show, or we shall attempt to do so, at any rate. Cap off the show, got the illusion of choice. Yes, indeed, send your topics to the Murloc at CynicalBrit.com. That is the Murloc at CynicalBrit.com. Now, to make it a little bit more interesting, how about I give the person that sends in the best topic, a baby Windrider pet. Yes, a baby Windrider. Why not? Sounds like a good idea to me. So I shall do that. Send them in to the Murloc at CynicalBrit.com. The one that I pick shall win themselves a little baby Windrider to use in-game. There you go. Don't worry, archive listeners. I've got something for you. The end of the show as well. Don't worry. Chill out, relax, and so forth. Man, it's been such a slow week in WoW, honestly. Really nothing has happened at all. You know, I raided, I did my stuff, I logged off. There's been no major drama, no major announcements of any description whatsoever. I think the biggest thing that came out this week was, Brain Freeze no longer works with Frostfire Bolt. Oh my god. Crazy. You can't do that? That's insane. Wait. No, I have no idea what that is. Nor do I care, because it's Frost. Nobody specs that. I don't know. That's really all there has been to it, honestly, so might as well just kick it off. If you're not already in the chat room, go check it out. CynicalBrit.com. Click the chat button at the bottom of the screen to get in on the video chat. Studio Cam is on for your sins. And I would suggest that you win the code and perhaps wear the hat You should be wearing the hat. There's not enough hats going on in this channel. How many hats have we got? Boss Wally's not wearing a hat. That's exciting. Morton Knott is wearing 5 hats, so I suppose he compensates for the fact that Boss Wally is wimping out on that one. Foley appears to be going to war, which is quite impressive. Black Book seems to have some doubts as to his overall sexuality. Nagranol is not someone I'd want to meet in a dark alley. It would appear that Alec is rather chilly in there, and Evil Sandwich is looking like he's plotting something. Pedro needs no hat because he is the only black guy in the channel. And Zelas is shrouded in darkness. So, not really going to be getting all that much from that, I'm afraid. It's crazy. Yeah, if you're missing out on the live chat, then, quite frankly, you are... all these people's reactions, yeah, it's great. You're missing out, seriously. Head on over, cynicalbit.com, and tune up for the live show. Sounds like a good idea. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, time for this.
Mail time!
That sounds like it's mail time. Here's the mail.
It never fails.
It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes,
I want to wail.
Yes, indeed, folks. It's the time where we read the mail. You should not be shocked or surprised by this, although perhaps you are. Maybe you are. Maybe you are thrilled by the whole affair. We shall see. Well, here's one. This one comes from Heath Maloney, and he says... What does he say, actually? Yes, there we go. Hey, I wanted to write to you and say I support you in your right to group with whomever you want to group. What, you support common sense? Wow. That's truly surprising. Last night I was running Heroic Forge of Souls on my Disc Priest. We had a Bear Tank, a 4.5k DPS Elemental Shaman, a 4k DPS Ret Paladin, and a 1.8k DPS Death Knight. After downing the first boss, the Ret Pally, who had incidentally waited and rolled Need on the bag after everyone else rolled Greed, you know, an effing ninja, initiated a kick of the Death Knight because he was slowing us down. I voted no, but sadly the sheep in the group voted yes, and it was promptly removed from the group. Now, in my opinion, the Death Knight was in the right place, doing the right thing. If he's trying to gear up his toon, he should be running Heroics. I know that 1.k DPS in the beginning of Wrath was considered very good DPS in a Pog Heroic. Really, was it? I don't remember that time. I don't remember a time when I ever did that, in fact. And those of us who are there simply for Frost Badges should S tier for you and let the other people gear up. So I exercised my right to group with whomever I want and left the group. No. Honestly, 1.8k DPS, that's okay, I guess, but it's not great. I mean, I understand why people get rid of that. It's subpar. As far as I'm concerned, if you're not doing at least 2, then you're dragging people back in. DKs are notorious for that. I mean, you're really asking for trouble if you play a DK, because people will view it as, oh, he's playing a DK, he's gonna be awful, and invariably they are. So I can understand, honestly, why you would think that, but yeah, fine. Exercise your right and leave the group if you've got a problem with people kicking. And honestly, I think that you should have to have a unanimous vote, i.e. 4-1 to get rid of someone. I'm very surprised that 3-2 is enough. Really. I think that's a little bit too hefty. But yeah, pretty crazy. Oh well, never mind. We shall continue. What else have we got coming up in the mailbox? Really not an awful lot, honestly. It's been such a slow week for everyone. No one really wants to touch anything right now with WoW. I've barely seen anyone on. It's like Ogrimmar was quieter, and there weren't so many people raiding. Trade Channel wasn't as spammed as it usually is. It's weird, isn't it? Just everyone seems to be in a little bit of a malaise right now, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later on in the show, because our guild is in a malaise, and we're doing something specific to try and alleviate that particular malaise. I like that word, malaise. You know, it's like mayonnaise, only more malicious. Malaise. Just rolls off the tongue. Yes. I'm going crazy. I'm going to be stir crazy from lack of anything fun to do in WoW. That's a bad thing, is it not? Right, quick topic here. Bobcat says, Paragon didn't use mages for their first kill. Does this prove that mages are nerfed or they all need to be Frostbite? Har, har, har. I don't know. I don't know Paragon's explanation for that. I can only assume it's not because they're nerfed. They're not the lowest DPS class, so one can only assume it had something to do with the way the fight works in Heroic mode. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I can't really give you an answer, though I will ask Paragon as to exactly why they did that, and I'll try and reveal that to you next week. It's intriguing, isn't it, that in the day and age of Bring the Player, Not the Class, the hardest fight in the game apparently excludes an entire class, and not one that's traditionally excluded either. We're talking about a main DPS class, one that's been in from the start. That's kind of weird. Very odd indeed, I feel. Oh well. Now, Ben Haynes asks, it's an old topic regarding botting and what Blizzard are doing about it, but one that demands discussion as it's been slowly shunned away. Well, I don't see bots, honestly, because I don't go anywhere near Wintergrasp, and that seems to be the place that they hang out these days. It's funny because you gotta wonder what exactly they can do about it. There's not a huge amount of things that Blizz can do about it. The botting stuff gets more advanced as more advanced features are put in the game to block it out. So you end up having to have some situation whereby you actively monitor bots. And good luck with that, honestly. Good luck, because that is tricky, to say the least. That is really tricky. You've got to get the GMs on it, and it's a little bit crazy. It's funny that they haven't really done all that much about hacking under the world and getting under there. I would have thought that that would have been pretty easy to spot, admittedly. Of course, they're underground, you can't see them, but whatever. I'm sure that there must be some kind of detection method which says, this player is where he shouldn't be. The game is not supposed to allow that to happen, ergo, this guy is doing it wrong. But I don't know if that's the case. Now, I'm not going to say that Blizzard haven't done anything about botting. They've done an awful lot about it. But you've also got to bear in mind that it's going to be there for the foreseeable future, whether you like it or not. And it's really difficult to eliminate. Now, what can Blizzard do about that? Well, that comes down to a software coding issue. Like, can Blizzard do anything about this whatsoever? Well, maybe. Maybe not. But how do we know? It's sort of difficult to find out. And we're not coders. So it's tricky to work out exactly what they would do about it. I do agree that something has to be done about it, no doubt, but I think right now they're probably concentrating on the hacking of accounts. Botting is not the main method of earning money to sell for gold. Account hacking is. So that's something they should be focusing on, I would think. And they seem to be doing a pretty good job of that thus far. But people just need to keep buying those authenticators, and, you know, it's not like they haven't made them available. For God's sake, protect your own account. How difficult an idea is that? I don't really see a problem with that. Right, here's one from Tika, and he asks this. My topic is, trying out raid boss mechanics in Heroics. Is it a good thing? And does annoying in a Heroic equal good in a raid environment? Have any boss fights in Wrath Heroic impressed you in a way that you thought it would be a good raid boss mechanic and spell? I can think of one, actually, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yes, that would be, of course... I must have the button somewhere, I'm sure I do.
You dare look upon the host of souls! I shall devour you all!
Yes, wouldn't that make a great boss mechanic? Oh, wait! It already was! It's kind of in reverse. Oh, look, it's the Reliquary of Souls. They didn't even bother to take souls off the end of it. That works. I'm trying to think of anything else that would make a good one, and... there's nothing in there. Actually, no... There is one that would make a great one, but they gotta do it properly, and that's the Confessor in the Trial of Champions, the one that spawns those various bosses, except they all do exactly the same thing. They could do a great opera event style thing by doing that and having it bring back real versions of old bosses, like, here's Ragnaros, here's Nefarian, here's Cthulhu, blah blah blah, and they've all got mechanics based around the old stuff, but they're made and sort of modernized. That would have worked really well, and I'm sort of annoyed that they haven't done that yet. They've completely missed the trick there. And now, I didn't exactly expect them to do anything good, really. I didn't expect anything amazing from that particular boss in that 5-man, because that 5-man is garbage. But it would have been nice if it had actually had some kind of difficulty to it and some substance, as opposed to, oh look, it's Hogger, her her her. It is exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's not great, is it? It's not something that I was particularly impressed by, and I'm sure nobody else was either. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, any other good boss mechanics. Well, we've seen some similar ones. I mean, if you look at Scardy versus Razor Scale, those are relatively similar fights in certain regards. What else is there? There's... Wrath Heroics weren't very good, let's be honest. There's not an awful lot that impressed me in any of them that would make me say, okay, this is awesome. You know, they took some of the mechanics on a new Barak, they changed things around. That wasn't even a great fight to begin with. Most of them are just tank and spanks. And I'm trying to think if there's a mechanic that is overwhelmed by the tank and spank nature of everything. that would actually work properly, and no, none are coming to mind, I'm going to be honest. But if you can think of one, email it in, themurloc@cynicalbrit.com. Let me know, just as a bonus topic for today, exactly which heroic fight mechanic you'd like to see made into a raid, and how you would advance it to make it challenging in a raid environment. Go for it, sounds like a good idea to me. Yes, indeed. My name is Torbis, you're listening to Blue Please here on cynicalbrit.com. I shall be back after the break to talk to you about raid lockouts, extending them, yes. Increase your raid's girth, extend your raid's lockout. Insert additional euphemism here. I'll be right back. Enjoy.